The email came yesterday afternoon, a Thursday, at 3:58, informing me of a special meeting scheduled for today at 4. We all know what it's about. The rumors have been flying around since March. Drummel's wife has been sick for months, and now that she's taken a turn for the worse, he is sure to step down as the piano department chair so that he can tend to her, which means it's between me and that no-talent fuck Hal. The hour before the first student lesson of the morning is my normal time for practice, but I'm in no mood for the quartet accompaniment business coming up in a few weeks. I want something celebratory. I flip through the stack of music beside the piano and settle on a simple Schubert march. Thick chords, upbeat, victorious. The job is as good as mine. Hal made a fool of himself last week at his annual recital. It was Bach's French Suite No. 4, near the beginning of the Javotte. A flub. Not just a flub. A complete fuck-up. He had to stop and start again from the beginning. There were certainly as many seats filled at my recital as there were at his. And then the roaring applause at the end. I can close my eyes and still hear it. Hal made an utter cock of himself. My 96-key Bosendorfer nails each note of the Schubert with clean, ringing action. It sings, it's rich, a mouthful of blood at the end, the way that the whole room resonates roundly, warmly. And then the muffled sounds of another piano permeate the room. In the very next office, Hal plays on his Steinway. He practices incessantly. Always with the goddamn Czerny, always Mozart. Hal plays cunting Mozart like a cunt. I nailed the ending of the Schubert. Hal was still tinkering around with his endless scales, those frenzied linear runs up and down the keyboard. Normally, I would be set off by this, but not today. Today, I will win. And a few pages later. I wake up on my carpeted office floor. It's dark, already night, and the room smells sour. I realize why when my hand finds a slick round of vomit near the trash can. The room also smells of smoke. I realize I'm not alone, and that there's a silhouette of a thin man sitting on my piano bench, completely backlit by the halogen security lamp's light filtering in through the closed blinds, the only light. His shadow is small and familiar. How? How did you get in here? I cough and push myself up into a sitting position against the wall. My head spins when I try to stand, so I remain seated. The figure only sucks in a long inhale. The cherry glows like a pulse. Answer me, damn it, what are you doing here? I'm not Hal, he says, but he sounds just like Hal, just like him. I try to stand again, but I'm too dizzy. Turn on a light. The stranger switches on the lamp atop the piano, and he's cast in the spillover light from the green hood of its cover. He looks like Hal, the same perfectly parted and groomed blonde hair, the same face, the same dark eyes and sharp nose. The only difference is the big, ridiculous fake mustache, the tips of which are curled. Looks like a goddamn dime store disguise, Hal. He stares at me as though he knows me, like a brother or a long-lost friend, like a lover would. I'm not Hal, he says again, calmly. Whatever you say. I grab the bottle of bourbon resting on its side beside me. What are you doing? I take a swig, but struggle to swallow. My throat burns and fiery sweet flavors too similar to the sour smell of sick permeating the room. I keep it down. I'm celebrating, dear friend, celebrating. Looks like you're having a good time. I beat you, Hal. Finally beat your ass. I'm not Hal. Whatever, give me a cigarette. He stands, shakes out a cigarette from the pack, and covers the short distance in a few punctuated crunching steps. He strikes the match and cups the flame. My lungs ache. Looking at him so closely, he's not Hal. Familiar, but not the same person at all. He's wearing a dark-colored tweed suit, a crisp collared tuxedo-style button-up, a diagonally striped tie, the look of a man out of the late 19th century, but with an eggshell-colored cardigan tied around the shoulders. He smells like cloves. Who are you? I try to sit up straight. How did you get in? He sits down across from me, legs crossed, argyle socks revealed in the space between his pants, cuff, and his loafers. He sits close. The big fake mustache is lopsided. It looks as though it's about to fall right off. He's Hal for a flicker of a moment, and then becomes the stranger again. He speaks. Did you know that on his deathbed, Schoenberg mourned what he did to modern music? Atonalism was his gift to the world, and he ultimately rejected it. Schoenberg was a cock. The stranger, who looks like Hal, leans forward, grabs my shirt, and kisses me. His lips are cold and wet. His fake mustache is bristly against my skin. The stranger smells like shaving cream and spirit gum, and his mouth tastes like cigarettes and licorice, like Liszt's Consolation No. 3. The stagger of 3 against 4, the stagger of my thrumming heart. The coolness inside him pours into me like mint tea. Something the weight of a break inside my chest dissolves. Something that has always felt like a clenched fist relaxes. And out of the cacophonous clash of harmony, a single, simple melody emerges, and it tastes of cloves. He pulls away, stands, and returns to his seat, now straddling the bench as if it were a rocking horse. With one hand, he taps out a melody on the upper register of the keyboard. Only a few notes, a tune, most certainly, but it's a slow and disjointed thing that sets me on edge. I beat you, I say. My cheeks feel wet, my eyelids heavy. What if there was no game?